Welcome into SportBet Extra. I'm your host, Paul Rami, here every Monday through Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. Today is March 9th, 2026. It is championship week in college basketball. This is where it matters, and this is who determines who gets into March Madness. I'm excited to be here, man. We've got some great matchups this week. I cannot wait to talk college basketball. Unfortunate, it's almost over. We're nearing that part where college basketball is almost over, and then we'll just get really into NBA and then MLB. We'll talk MLB because once college basketball ends, we start rolling into some Major League Baseball there. A lot of offseason stuff has happened, so we'll be excited to talk about that. But right now, we're focusing on college basketball and NBA. So it is great to be here today. We're going to recap a little bit of over the weekend where we currently are for March, how yesterday's plays went. Also, for tonight, I will be dropping some picks here for some championship week tournaments. So let's just go ahead and get right into the show. All right, we are here. We are ready to go. Follow on X and at YouTube there, at Paul Rami. You can find me on both. Again, every Monday through Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. Let's pull up that record overall. Excuse me. Here we are currently overall since October, end of October, plus 41.22 units. March currently 16 and 12. We are just above, I believe, 3 point something units. I gotta double check the math on that one there. You know what? Let me go ahead and double check it because I want to make sure I'm as accurate as possible where we are. And we are currently at 3.64 units positive for March there. So plus 3.64 units in March. That's where we are currently. College basketball, I see there 177, 132, still our most profitable sport there. NBA, again, we've been kind of dabbling in our betting strategy. Currently, the NBA betting strategy is 20 and 19. So 20 and 19. Besides that, you can see we haven't been on too many plays minus betting strategy. So really minus the betting strategy, if we were not betting that, we would be 19 and 14 or somewhere around that range. So still positive. That's where we are currently in NBA and college basketball. MLB, that's going to wipe clean once the season starts here. We'll get rid of that 3-0. That'll go towards our all-time, and we'll start the season fresh for MLB. College basketball. Yesterday, we go 1-2. Charleston -2 was no good. Never had a chance there, man. That was kind of a poor performance there by Charleston. Michigan State plus 9.5. That hook. Oh, man, that hook was tough at the end there. Just free throws. Man, couldn't cut it. So we lose Michigan State plus 9.5. Northern Kentucky -3, no problem there. They run away and they win that game against Green Bay and cover that -3 with no problem. So 1-2 yesterday. 16 and 12 overall in March. Again, plus 3.64 units there for the month of March. Continue with March. So today, this is going to be a very short show because we will be dropping my championship week picks for the 5 big main conferences. We were considering doing A10. Not much in A10 that we can maybe find one. Maybe we'll add A10. We'll see how much time I've got tonight. But we're going to have our Big East championship winner picked, Big 10, your Big 12, your SEC, and your ACC. All 5 of those, we're going to pick one winner for each of those conferences for championship week starting tomorrow. And we're going to do 0.25 units for each one there. So a quarter unit on each pick for a total of 1.25, depending if we add the A10, 1.5 units that we're risking. And look, we're going to have some with some not so great value and some with some amazing value. So you just got to really find out. I'll give one out for free here, maybe on the show. We'll see. You know what? Let's do that because we don't have a lot of games going on tonight. Really, tomorrow is where it's going to pick up. So let's do this. I'm going to give out my Big East winner pick here. That's the one that I've got, as the free one. So anyone go to sportbetextra.com, you'll be able to see the write-up here for the Big East winner. And I'm going to post write-ups for all of them. So it's not just going to be a pick. Each one is going to have a write-up here for each conference tournament. So this one is just going to kind of be a little bit of a taste of what we're getting here for this one. If I'm able to pull it up, I might not be able to on here. If that's the case, then I guess we're not gonna have it unless if we don't have technical difficulties, then we'll be able to get it. Look, sometimes we have issues, sometimes we don't. I really want to give out this one. Again, it's going to be given out tonight regardless. But if you can get out on the show right now and maybe find some value on it, then let's see if we can do that. That's the ones that we're picking here. So going into the Big East Conference, tournament champion, that is what some issues, but if everyone can bear with me, I would love to at least give this one out. Hey, in a perfect world, yeah, but not everything. So we'll see what we can do. While that's getting pulled up, let's take a look at the. Not a lot to go really going on in the NBA tonight either. It looks like only about 4 or 5 games there. Sixers at Cavs. Cavs laying the 14.5 number there at home. Yeah, I don't know if I want to lay the 14.5 with the Cavs. I know no Tyrese Maxey, no Joel Embiid. I understand that, but just laying that number with the Cavs, I'm not sure if I'm really confident in that one right now. I get it. A lot of guys out for the Sixers. We've seen role players for the Sixers be able to do enough. So, again, I don't know if we're going to really be on this one. Probably not on the Cavs there. Next game there, Nuggets and Thunder. Thunder laying the 5.5. I'm okay with laying that. I mean, no, it doesn't look like Holmgren. Let me double check here. I want to check his injury status. He's still iffy for Monday. So, no Holmgren, no Jalen Williams. I mean, it's still not undoable. I don't know how much I would trust Denver here. Again, too many injury concerns right now for this game. We don't have enough information. This game tips off in about an hour and a half. So, we're just going to pass on that one. Nuggets, Thunder. Again, Jamal Murray, Chet Holmgren end up moving the line when those are announced what's going to happen. So, with still not really knowing, we don't want to be on the wrong side of that line move. So we'll just wait around and pass on that one there. Grizzlies laying the small 1.5 point there on the road. No Michael Porter for the Nets. For the Grizzlies, I mean, it's just really trying to find a reason to bet on the Grizzlies right now is very hard to do. Laying that 1.5, even though they're a small favorite, it's very difficult for me to wrap my head around laying that 1.5 with the Grizzlies. Just at any point, them being a favorite is very difficult for me to do that. So I would lean Nets here, money line. Nothing I'm going to actually be taking. Warriors at Jazz there. Warriors laying the 6.5. I believe it's moved up to a 7.5 now. Again, no Steph Curry, no Jimmy Butler. We know that. No Larry Markkinen. It looks like also Keontae George, maybe a game time decision. Let me see if I can get his status pulled up real quick. So he was downgraded to questionable. Most likely not going to play then if he's got that illness. So we may see that line jump up to, that's probably why it's at 7.5 now. I would lean Warriors here, but not going to be on that one either. Just too many other plays we could be on. Knicks at the Clippers. Knicks laying the 2.5 here on the road. John Collins, of course, still out for the Clippers there. Knicks, just Mitchell Robinson really is the main one. But again, that really hasn't made a difference. I don't know. I like the Clippers on this one. With Darius Garland now there and Mathurin off the bench, this Clippers team looks a little bit better with no Harden. Kawhi knows his role. Mathurin is coming off the bench now there, and you got Garland. I mean, this Clippers team can really start to roll. They lost to the Spurs. That was a tough game there, 116-112, only losing by 4. But look, the Clippers here, I think they've got a great opportunity against the Knicks to win this one here as even as a slight underdog, 2.5-point underdog. I would lean them. I know the Knicks lost last night to the Lakers. That's a pretty embarrassing loss, 110-97. You would expect them to bounce back here. But it feels like a spot that the Clippers might be able to steal one here as a slight underdog. I would lean Clippers plus 2.5 for this game. Not going to be on it probably, but that would be my lean for that one, plus 2.5. Into college basketball, I was not able to pull up that pick that I've got here for the Big East. I've got a write-up that's going to go, again, live in about maybe 2-3 hours, somewhere around that range. It's going to give you the picks for the 5, maybe 6 conference championship winners there for the men's basketball tournaments. So, unfortunately, not giving it out on today's show. Just got to go to sportbetextra.com when that's posted tonight, and you'll get that there. Find out what's Big East, SEC, all of those there. That's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, man, I see it here. Okay. You know what? Quick change of plans then, because I'm looking at these. Look, we're on Robert Morris to win the tournament plus 250-ish. I can't remember the exact number. I've got to go double check. That's who we're on to win. So we're not going to be on that game tonight. We're going to stay off Detroit Mercy, Robert Morris. Looking at a couple of the others, Northern Kentucky, Wright State. Look, we were on Northern Kentucky last night. They're covering that -3. I don't know about another type of performance like that against Green Bay, but again, Green Bay is not the greatest. So maybe this is a spot for Northern Kentucky. I mean, just to look back and see what they have done against Wright State. They lost last time these two played, 92-91. Lost again before that, 88-80. So they haven't really done too well. They beat Oakland, which was great, 85-84, and again before yesterday's game against Green Bay. I just don't quite trust this team. So I would lean Wright State here. Wright State's just kind of been on the roll the past 3 games against Fort Wayne, again beating Northern Kentucky, and then Cleveland State there that lost to Robert Morris. Besides that, nice wins there. So I would lean Wright State. I understand why this line is 1.5. It could go either way. I would lean Wright State, but not going to be on that one. Furman and East Tennessee State. It feels like a spot where Furman gets back into the tournament. That's just what it feels like. It's a SoCon final here. It feels like Furman's going to end up winning this one and get back into the tournament. As much as East Tennessee State maybe might, some would say, deserve it a little bit better, a little bit more, I don't quite see it. It feels like, again, Furman's going to get in there. So I would lean Furman here, money line to win this one. Georgia Southern Troy, we're not going to be on that one either. Again, we talked about Troy was the pick there to win the conference for the Sun Belt, so I don't think we're going to be on this game at all either. Looking at the others, SWAC tournament, definitely not going to be on Mississippi State, Grambling State. We got way better things to do than watch that game. Definitely can watch paint dry instead. Northern Colorado, Montana. Northern Colorado laying the 4.5 there against Montana in the Big Sky. I don't know if I want to lay that 4.5. Montana defensively, they could keep it close. They can shoot the free throws, which again is going to keep them in the game there as long as they're getting to the line. I would probably lean Montana plus 4.5 there. Towson, Hofstra. Is Towson going to be able to repeat what they did against Charleston last night? That's a question. I mean, they beat Hampton before that, but Hampton we know is no good. Charleston really just didn't do anything last night. 3 for 22 from 3 for 14%. And then Towson shot lights out for 10 for 22 from 3. You're not going to have that on back-to-back nights. Towson was just overall better last night against Charleston. I don't see the same thing happening here tonight against Hofstra. Hofstra, the better three-point shooting team, the better free throw shooting team, defensively better. I would lean Hofstra here. I believe that line should really be more of a 5.5, 6.5 range for Hofstra against Towson. But I think because looking at what Towson did, they're thinking they've got a little bit of that momentum here going up against Hofstra. But I would lean Hofstra minus 3.5 there. That may be the play that we end up on. I kind of like that spot now a little bit more and more that I'm looking at it and talking it over. Oregon State, Gonzaga, no, thank you. We'll pass on that one. Again, Detroit Mercy, Robert Morris, not going to be on that either. Weber State, Eastern Washington, and here in the Big Sky, yeah, we've got better games to bet on, so we're going to pass on that. Santa Clara, St. Mary's, look, I love the Santa Clara team. They've got to really pull it off here if they want a chance to really in this tournament. They lost to St. Mary's earlier. They beat them also one other time, so they're a 1-1 team against St. Mary's here during the season. We know they have the capability of beating St. Mary's, but St. Mary's is just so tough defensively. What are we going to get out of Santa Clara? I'm not sure. I would lean Santa Clara there. Don't know if we're going to be on it. But that's it for college basketball for tonight. So here's what we're doing for the Big East. I was back and forth on this one. Back and forth in the Big East. Again, this is going to be on a separate blog post here over on SportBetExtra.com. Again, that's going to be coming a little bit later tonight, maybe around 8 p.m. Central Time, somewhere around that for the picks for all the division winners. But let me double check here and see using Kalshi what type of odds we're getting here for the Big East. So not much movement since we were prepping for this one. Here's where we're at. There's only 2 clear winners for this tournament. It feels like Creighton or Seton Hall, they could steal a bid. I don't think that's going to happen here. St. John's just looks like they're going to be too good. Really, St. John's only one loss since it's January 3rd, loss to Providence. They just look so dominating, which you can always expect as long as Rick Pitino is going to be there coaching. Not quite the same defense as last year, but still a top 30 rated defense in all of college basketball. The main stats we're going to continue to look at, especially when it comes to tournament time, it's always going to be free throw shooting percentage, 3-point field goal percentage, and turnovers. And when it gets down to close games, you want to be on the side of a team that can hit a 3 if needed, but also make those free throws in key situations when you're leading to go ahead and maintain that lead, or if trailing, just need to get that clock stopped and make those free throws. So we have seen in the past that teams with inferior guard play, they do struggle, which is a weakness here for the Red Storm. They move the ball incredibly well, 16.5 assists per game, but they're going to need more than that offensively if they want a chance against the favorite in UConn. UConn, they've had the much easier road to victory here in the Big East, facing, Xavier or Marquette in the quarterfinals. Should be a walk in the park. I know they just lost to Marquette the last game to end the season. Don't expect the same here for UConn if they do match up against Marquette in the quarterfinals. Look, after that, they're going to most likely take on Villanova. Really, they've had Villanova's number all season. They beat them twice, 73-63 on February 21st and 75-67 back on January 24th. UConn should be able to roll into the semifinals. and into the final matchup there. It's most likely going to be St. John's and UConn. As boring and as anticlimactic as this pick is, there's really no other reason to bet on any other schools here to win the Big East. If you do want to take a flyer, it'd probably be Seton Hall. Currently, they're at a plus 1328 number on Kalshi. That would be a fun one because if Seton Hall gets past Creighton there and St. John's has a bad game where they struggle with that guard play, look for Seton Hall to go on. And then if UConn, if they get tripped up again, Dan Hurley has another blow up, then again, Seton Hall can maybe end up winning that final there. So if you want something that has great value, again, Seton Hall plus 1328 currently on Kalshi. My pick here, this is going to be the only one where we're actually picking what you'd consider a favorite, is UConn plus 100 here. I don't love picking favorites, but that's just the way it is for this one. UConn plus 100, Big East tournament winner, 0.25 units. It's not a lot. That's just the way it is with these Big East tournament winners. We're only risking 0.25 units, and we're going to do the same for the other 4, maybe 5 that we're doing. That's a little preview of what is going on in the post later on today. Again, other plays we'll have as well. But let's get into then one free play before the games tip off here. So we're going to have one post as soon as the show is over with today's plays. Another one about 3 hours if I can get it in time for the conference tournament winners for championship week in college basketball. For tonight, the free play, we're going to go back into the NBA, and we're going to go Clippers plus 2.5 here. So let's pull up ProfitX, use the code Paul Rami, get you 20% purchase match up to $100. That's where I use my lines, do all my shopping on ProfitX. Clippers plus 2.5 minus 110. That is the current number. That's what we're going with. Free play on the show. Clippers 2.5 minus 110. The rest of the plays will be posted here within the next few minutes, maybe 5-10 minutes. And then again, in about a couple hours, we're going to get the Big East tournament winner, the SEC, the Big 10, Big 12, SEC, and then maybe keep a lookout for that on SportBetExtra.com. Go get you a free 7-day trial. You'll be able to get all the picks there as well for the whole tournament winners, and then you can just stay on for the rest of the week. So SportBetExtra.com, 1 week, 1 month, 3 months. Go get you set up there. Good luck tonight. Clippers plus 2.5 minus 110. I will see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy your rest of the evening. Let's go Clippers tonight. Have a good one, y'all.